I need to find the, I need to find the way to get him. But I'm glad. I'm actually very glad that's happening. Because... Oh, I get it. So there's gonna be a middle thing for day 7, and there's whatever this is gonna be. And then the rest is gonna be, Satoru's side, I'm guessing. But, what am I saying? I'm glad that I've found a game over, because this gives me the chance to go back and basically figure out, do random options, just like, I'll go back to the newest option and choose the other one. If that one doesn't work out, I'll go to the option before that, etc, etc. And try to figure out which one saves everyone. So, it is time we defy logic. So, I will be racing through this. Pew, pew, pew. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. So is this the one that makes us die no matter what? That's what I need to be curious of. So I forgot what the last one was, but I think it was this one. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, so that's the one when we die. We've got that one under control. Alright, let's turn back this time. I decided to turn back. I felt that I should return while I could still move. My weak heart whispered to me, just get some rest. Once you do, you'll feel a little more relaxed. Even standing up was painful. If I fell here, I'd probably fall asleep and die. But I was sure my body would freeze. And then I'd probably be reserved beautifully in that form until spring came. I was tempted to just throw myself down onto the beautiful snow and go to sleep. But I quickly shook my head to drive away that sweet stuff. Sweet temptation and quickly stand back up. I can't die here. I was worried about Uni and Yamagi back at the shelter cabin. If I don't go back, they might come looking for me. I don't want to expose them to danger. I took out the compass. It was difficult to focus on the needle because of my shaking hand. I kept my right hand still with my left. I started heading westward. I had to go back no matter what, to the shelter cabin. The shadow that couldn't live. I walked on with all my might in the snowstorm so bad that I couldn't even see so far as my toes. Relying solely on the compass, I just kept moving straight ahead. I didn't even have the energy to look at my watch. My vision was blurred. My thoughts vague. I gradually stopped feeling cold, and that was the scariest thing of all. I heard that when I can't take the cold anymore, I'll start to hallucinate. The snow will feel unbearably hot, making me take off my clothes. Then I'll collapse half crazed in the snow and die. As I imagined that sort of end, a chill ran down my spine. The slope ended before long, and I finally reached the top of the hill. Just a little more. When I reach the bottom of the hill, I'll be able to see the shelter cabin. While I confirmed the way back with the compass, I accidentally stepped into a sunken place in the snow. At that instant, the snow collapsed under my feet. I lost my balance and tumbled into the snow, and my body rocked as though I had been caught and shaken hard by a giant. I screamed, but even that sound was absorbed by the snow. I fell down the slope of the snow-covered hill. Okay. We've fallen, but this time we aren't with Yamagi. I stayed buried in the snow for quite a while. The snow felt very warm. I wanted to just go to sleep like this. But... brightness woke me up. The flashlight I gripped tightly in my hand was shining on my face. It was a miracle that I hadn't dropped it. And it was a miracle that I was alive at all. I'm still alive? I tried to stand, I staggered, but there was no intense pain. I tried moving my arms and legs slightly. They still move. It doesn't seem like I broke any bones. The snow was thick and had acted as a cushion. I gotta go back to the cabin. I brushed away the snow that clung to my face. Even my eyelashes and eyebrows are frozen. When I rubbed them with my gloves, grains of ice fell from them. As if guided by some kind of homing instinct, I unconsciously started to walk. But where am I? Using the flashlight, I illuminated my surroundings. On the other side of my field of vision, I narrowed by the snow, something reflected the light. I saw what looked like a skin-colored cloth. What is it? Could it be the rescue supplies? I instinctively ran. It's pretty far from location X, but maybe it got caught by the wind and carried here. I shone the beam of flashlight down to the cloth spread over the snow. Hill. It wasn't the rescue supplies. A woman? What? A woman I had never seen. Are you alright? No answer. Pulling on the fingers with my mouth, I took off my gloves and reached out to touch the back of the prone woman's neck. Cold, she's dead. Was she with us on the plane? Why hasn't the snow covered her? It's not likely, but maybe when I fell down just now, her body was uncovered. I put my gloves back on, took hold of the flashlight. Straining my eyes, I could see the shadow of the cabin far back. Sorry for leaving you here. I apologized to the corpse of the woman. And at the same time, I thought to myself, I won't end up like her. I mustered my little remaining energy and began walking towards the cabin. Oh, I survived this time. Unless it isn't 6:53 yet. I'd returned to the shelter cabin. Cocoro! Uni greeted me with an anxious face and ran up to meet me. Sorry I'm late. While apologizing to Uni, I kneeled over on the spot. Couldn't so much as move a finger. Cocoro! Uni wiped the snow off my body. Take off the coat. The snow is melting, and if you get wet, it will be really bad. Yeah. I slowly removed the coat with my trembling hands and threw it aside. Something for you to put on. Uni restlessly looked around, and I called out to Meizumi, who was curled up on the top bunk. Lin, give me your coat. Meizumi looked down at him, openly annoyed. Why? Come on, give it to me quick. At Uni's unexpectedly strong tone, Meizumi looked daunted. Why do I have to? She reluctantly took off her coat and tossed it over. Uni draped it over my shoulders. After that, he piled blankets on top of me as well. It's cold. It's cold! Meizumi, having parted with the coat, wrapped herself more tightly in her blankets. Most of the clothing had shielded us from the cold had gotten wet during the march through the snow the other day. We tried to dry them out inside the cabin, but they froze solid instead. We didn't have any other coats. I felt a little apologetic. We have to make a fire. Something to burn. Can't do anything but shiver. Right now, this little boy seems more reliable to me than ever before. I felt gratitude for him from the bottom of my heart. Wait, where's Yamagi? Thank you, Uni. Right. Yuri went down to the basement. He came back carrying a first aid kit and a box of waterproof matches. He took out scissors and tape from the kit. And then God only knows what he was thinking. He started cutting up the blankets. Uni, what are you doing? I'll burn these blankets. Come on, Lin. Come help me. Like I said, why do I have to? In any case, you get to warm up too, right? So come on and help. Reciting the words warm up, Meizumi got down from the bed. Reacting, I mean. Since she wasn't wearing a coat, she seemed awfully cold. What do you want me to do? Nothing that'll be a pain in the ass, okay? All these blankets that I cut up tightly. And tape them at the end so they won't come apart. Why are you... Soji taught me how. When Lin said we should burn the newspaper, you know, a newspaper can also be used to replace for firewood if you roll it up. Although it's impossible to do it with just one page, of course. It must be the same with other blankets. If you fold them over several times, they can be used just as well. Jeez. Cursing under her breath, she abundantly helped me. Helped him. Before my eyes, they managed to roll up just a few dozen blanket logs. After Uni had thrown them into the stove, he headed towards the bed. He held his plush bear. Oh, no! No, don't! He gazed into the round eyes of the bear and embraced the thrower sorrowfully. Sorry, please forgive me. No! Then Uni readied himself and set fire to the bear. What? No! Tiva! Uni! It's okay, just watch. TV was made of cotton and he quickly caught on fire. Yuni sadly bit his lip. Yuni was burning his treasured toy, which had made it back to him across the frozen land for my sake. I'm sorry. I feel awful, god damn it. Yuni put the burning toy in the stove. As though it was live coal, the blanket kindly flared up. Now Cocoro, stay near the fire, warm yourself up. For an instant, I recall what Yumogi told us about hypothermia. If exposed by hypothermia immediately, warm the hands and feet. I somehow calmed myself down and tried to check the state of my body. My condition didn't appear to be as severe as Yuni's had been last night, which means that this shouldn't have turned to hypothermia yet. If so, I'd better warm my body to prevent frostbite. Yeah. I held my hands out towards the stove while being careful not to touch the fire. My near-frozen fingertips pulsed and blood gradually began to flow through them again. My continuously shivering body began loosening up. It seemed like it was absorbing the thermal energy. The firewood made from the rolled-up blankets burned slower than in the first flare, warming me up. Of course, it goes without saying that Maizumi had drawn near the fire with a look of desperation as well. Thank you, Yuni.
No problem, just glad you're okay. No problem, just glad you're okay.
I accepted some water heated by the fire from Yuni and drank it in one gulp. Maizumi stared at me with eyes full of greed. I was finally feeling refreshed, and Yuni looked restless, asking me a question. Hey Cocoro,
Seiji wasn't with you?
Eh? Come to think of it, I had noticed since I was occupied with the cold, but Yumogi wasn't in the shelter again. Our cabin. Where did Yumogi go?
He went looking for you.
While holding her hands out towards the fire, Maizumi continued the subject Yuni had raised. When you ran out there, he went white as a sheet and left. Didn't it pass you out there?
Oh no.
Oh no. I took a look out the window. The fierce snowstorm was still raging in, and within it was Yumogi still looking for me. I forced energy into my legs and staggered to my feet. I headed for the door. I have to go get him.
Don't.
Yuni weakly held me back as I tried to open the door.
Can't go out in your condition. This time Cocoro will die for sure. Hey, why don't we wait a little? Why don't we believe in Yumogi?
I crashed down on the floor, making a hollow sound against boards. But as it is, it's my fault that Yumogi-san. Because I did something so reckless, Yumogi might become a victim too. Yumogi-san! I wanted him to come back soon. As if laughing at me for thinking that, the storm grew stronger. After a while, all of a sudden the sound of the storm ceased. Say, the fire in the storm had gone out long ago. Maizumi, who was back in her own bed, craned her head. Isn't it kind of warm? Eh? I wonder, I felt nothing at all. My body had nearly ceased to feel difference in temperature. Was it because I had stayed too long in a cold place? I felt cold wherever I was. My still shivering body was proof of that. Could the storm have let up? Maizumi inclined her neck repeatedly. No, who cares about that? Now that the storm has let up, I have to go look for Yumogi. I tried to stand. Eh? In the instant I moved, my legs buckled.
Cocoro, it's useless. Don't push yourself.
I realized that I was weaker than I thought. But Yumogi-san! Yuni laid a blanket over my shoulders.
The storm has let up. Seiji will come back soon. Right, so let's wait for him, okay?
What Yuni said was right. Rather than acting foolishly and adding a further tragedy to what we have to bear, it was better to wait. Yumogi is a pro when it comes to mountains. He'll definitely be alright. Of course he will. But, even after waiting an insanely long time, Yumogi didn't come back. God descends to the new world. Continued staring at the face of my wristwatch. The second hand continued to carve away the seconds, one after another. Inside the cabin, silent as the grave, only the sound of the hand's movement could be heard. Yumogi had yet to return.
Seiji hasn't come back yet, huh?
Yuni, who had encouraged me only a while ago, had sunk into a deep depression. Yuni was worried after all. In any case, he's much too late. Did something happen to Yumogi? Although I don't want to believe anything happened. If he did meet with some misfortune, it would be my fault. A feeling of inconsolable guilt began to tear apart my body as I thought of that. I grasped my watch with both hands. If the newspaper was right, then the time at which the avalanche would occur was quickly approaching. If I remember correctly, it was 6:53. Not even 2 hours left. It'll take slightly under an hour to get to location X, no matter how much I hurry. If Yumogi had some accident that left him unable to move, and if his condition led him to seek help at location X, I wouldn't make it unless I leave this cabin right now. Yumogi would get caught up in the avalanche and die. My body had more or less warmed up, and I even got to drink something warm. However, there's no guarantee I'd make it back if I headed for location X, even if I warmed myself up. Decomposed bodies. It has been confirmed that 3 bodies have sustained a large number of lacerations, believed to have been caused by an avalanche that were caught up and soon after surviving the crash. I went over that sentence from the newspaper in my mind. I clutched my head. What do I do? What do I do? Hey, Satoru, what would you do? Something must be wrong with me. I'm trying to rely on Satoru at a time like this. But if it were Satoru, he'd be able to come up with the best course of action while maintaining his composure. Tell me, Satoru was a person who I could put my confidence in. Satoru, what should I do? Uni was hugging his knees and crying, Seiji's going to die. At this rate, he'll die. Uni's words were the trigger. That's right, what was I hesitating for? Let's all return forever. Together, not leaving a single person behind to die. We'll all return together. That's what we promised. And besides, it was Yamagi who brought me to this cabin right after the crash while I was still unconscious. Those past 7 days he had saved us time again. If he hadn't been here, we probably wouldn't have survived this long. It's true that there was no guarantee I'd be able to return safely even if I left now. But hadn't Yamagi gone out in order to save me, even though he himself wasn't certain that he'd be able to return safely? For me to abandon him despite that, I couldn't do such a thing. This time I'll be able to once save him. I stood up once again full of spirit. Once on my feet, I checked over the state of my body. My feet weren't unsteady, and they were supporting my body properly. It's okay, I can walk. After confirming that, I opened the door. I walked out the door. Oh, wait! Where are you going? I'm gonna look for Yamagi-san. It's crazy, we should just wait here.
Cocoro, don't do it.
Thank you, Uni. It's because of you that I was able to warm up. Mayuzumi-san and Uni, you two stay here and don't go anywhere. Saying only that, I opened the door. The snow had stopped falling. The snowstorm that had worried us continuously had stopped, as if it had never existed to begin with. It began to grow brighter from the east. The settling snowstorm was convenient for me. This would make it easier to spot Yamagi as well. If it's like this, I might reach the area 1 kilometer east of the cabin location X more quickly than before. Yamagi must be somewhere between here and that place. Yamagi-san, please be safe. Praying with all my might, I took my first step into the snow. I arrived at the gentle upslope leading all the way to the summit and began running up it. It was the second time today, and on top of that, my physical strength was nearing its limit, so I quickly ran out of breath. The gentle slope felt long and endless. I tripped in the snow and fell countless times, but even so I continued to advance as if crawling. Ugh. I turned my head towards the voice and saw Uni and Mayuzumi following me. They'd probably flown out of here in a panic as Mayuzumi wasn't even wearing a coat. Wait up! Don't follow me! Get back in the cabin! If those two went to location X as well, then this would all be meaningless. It'll be just like what was written in the newspaper. Go back right now. I shouted at them as forcibly as I could and once again began climbing fiercely up the slope. The sky above the outline of the ridge was dyed a light orange. It's dawn, I have to hurry. As if whipping my own body onwards, I was somehow able to climb to the top of the slope. Unable to stand any longer, I crouched down, almost falling over. My heart was beating furiously and my chest felt very tight, as though the claw of an eagle was gripping it. Closing my eyes, I hurriedly tried to control my breathing. I wiped the sweat from my brow. I've got to hurry. I don't have time to be resting. I yelled in a hoarse voice, trying to cheer myself on. I swallowed my saliva to help moisten my dry throat. I put strength into my numb and shaking legs, raised my head slowly, opened my eyes, and looked at the path ahead of me. Oh. What? Before my eyes was an ocean stretching across the horizon. The smell of the tide was carried on the wind. Is this an illusion? Even though it was an illusion, the smell of the tide tickled my nerves. White waves surged towards the coast. Water was all I could see across the horizon, and from there the first rays of the sunrise were beginning to peep out. No, this isn't an illusion. The rays of the rising sun shine dazzling upon my body. Eh? Did I transfer? Thinking of that, I turned my head. Behind me, there was a large circular depression in the ground in the shape of an earthware bowl. There was nothing resembling a mountain to be seen anywhere. In the middle of the depression was the cabin we had been staying in. Uni and Meizumi were trying frantically to catch up with me. I hadn't transferred. I was still at Mount Akakura. I didn't switch bodies either. I'm still Fuyukawa Cocoro right now. But... what is this? What is this? What is this? What is this, the ocean? When I headed to Location X just a few hours ago, there was no ocean like this here. If you climbed to the top of the summit, it was supposed to continue in a downhill slope the rest of the way. I'm sure of it. Because I actually went to Location X where I thought the emergency supplies had been dropped. The entire 1 kilometer before Location X should have been all continuous snowy mountains. But then why an ocean? First of all, this is Mount Akakura, 1,298 meters above sea level. There shouldn't be an ocean here. There's no way there can be. Thinking logically, no, there's another problem even before that. I made a mistake somewhere. Something's wrong, that's crazy. Did this mean that space-time has distorted and that Mount Akakura is now connected to another place? The boundary of the place where we are right now is a complete 180 degrees turned from the real world. It's as if another world is spread out before me. I fell to my knees. The limits of my comprehension have been exceeded. The world is broken. The things I thought were absolute had completely crumbled and disappeared. What was reality? What was fiction? If there was any such thing as reality in this world in the first place, I didn't understand anything. Whoa, it's the ocean! Before I noticed, Uni caught up with me. Seeing the ocean, his eyes widened. Whoa, the ocean, the ocean! He cheered and continued running down the slope. Oh, what? Uni, wait! Stay away! We shouldn't do anything carelessly when we don't know what's going on. Uni ran along the coast. What is this? Meizumi, in just her suit, had completely forgotten about the cold, and stood there dumbfounded. Stumbling, she followed Uni down the slope. Stop, stay away! Panicking, I followed the two of them. Meizumi-san! Catching up to Meizumi while she was still on the coast, I clung to her. Why is there an ocean? I don't know, but... I had an ominous premonition, a vague feeling of anxiety. Something was happening, something that couldn't compare with anything that had happened up until now. That's what it felt like. What is this? Meizumi was now coming closer to me instead. Weren't we on top of a mountain before? I don't know either. Hey, it's really cold. It's like the real ocean. Uni shouted in surprise as he scooped up water from the beach. Don't, Uni, don't touch it. Why I thought he shouldn't touch it, I didn't understand myself. Anyway, we didn't know its true nature. That was why it felt like we shouldn't get near it. Hey, let's go back, okay? At any rate, we should go back to the cabin. What are you saying? Or if you walk along the coast, we should reach the town eventually. Why didn't I notice something like that sooner? We spent an entire week in that freezing cabin. Now we look like fools. I frantically shook my head. No, that's not. There wasn't an ocean here just a few hours ago. That's not it. Meizumi suddenly gasped. It can't be. Did the old man escape by himself? I told you that's not it. What is? The ocean wasn't here just a moment ago. Perhaps pretty sure by my frantic appearance, Meizumi tilted her head, dubious expression on her face. Then why did Yamagi-san go? What? That's right, where did Yamagi go? Yamagi had followed me to Location X and never returned. And now Location X had disappeared. Now stretching in front of my eyes, there was an ocean. Where did Yamagi go? It couldn't be. Is he somewhere in the ocean? It can't be right. Frightened, I stumbled and fell onto the snow. Because if anything had happened to Yamagi, it'd be my fault. At that moment, someone's coming! My head shot up in response to Uni's voice. Along the coast, I saw the silhouette of a person running towards us. He was still very far away, so I couldn't see him that well, but there was no mistaking it. It had to be Yamagi. Feeling relieved deep down inside, I stood up. I started dashing towards the silhouette. Yomogi-san! I shouted at the top of my lungs as I ran. I ran. The sunrise shone in on us. The sunlight was strong enough to blind me. Violent waves were drawn in from the sea, and silver white snow sparkled in the sunlight. The silhouette approached from within the glittering sunlight. Little by little, the outline of the silhouette became clearer, and suddenly realized it. Had Yomogi-san worn such a long coat? Not only that, was Yomogi that slender? Yomogi-san? My feet stopped their forward charge. As I shielded my eyes from the sunlight with one hand, my eyes suddenly froze on what they saw. No. That isn't Yomogi. That's... Oh, what? I gulped. I can't press anything. It's literally all going on by itself, by the way. My voice shook. A heart was throbbing so intensely it felt like it would fly out. My body stiffened as I opened my eyes wide. You're... A person who shouldn't be here. Satoru? What? The one whom I'd always wanted to see. The one whose words I wanted to hear spoken in his own voice. Even though we hadn't spoken even once, it felt like he was the person I was closest to. A partner who was more reassuring than anyone. A companion a friend I felt closer to than anyone. I had always wanted to meet him. But this can't be real. There's no way this could really be happening. We shouldn't be able to meet here. He was someone who shouldn't be here. Yukidoh Satoru. He existed right before my eyes. It was almost as if this was the Deus Ex Machina. Huh! To me this was an event equivalent to a miracle from God. Satoru had stopped running and was now standing in front of me, staring at me holding his breath. Still can't press anything, it's literally just going all by itself. Why? Why are you here, Satoru? This is going to be a pause, Satoru, right? I was barely able to get those words out. Is the Satoru standing in front of me the real thing? What? Is what I'm looking at right now real? Is this world real? Satoru was looking back in surprise as well. But then he suddenly nodded his head repeatedly as if he understood everything. I see. So that's how it is after all. It was the first time I'd heard his voice. His words. However, it felt as if it wasn't real. His world lacked anything that was real. Satoru, hey, why? We'll talk later. My voice was interrupted by his stern expression. If I don't hurry, something terrible will happen. What do you mean, something terrible? What are you saying? What do you mean? Tell me. Tell me. Satoru! You guys wait here. You guys? What do you mean by you guys? Turning my head, Mayuzumi and Uni were there. The two of them were standing there dumbfounded, their eyes fixed on Satoru. All of a sudden, Satoru broke into a run. Wait. Where are you going? Satoru didn't turn around even when I called to him. He was getting further and further away. Satoru was leaving. His back was getting further and further away. He was going to leave me behind. No. I don't want that. Don't leave me behind. Don't leave me alone. Wait, please wait. Don't follow me. His words didn't enter my ears. With only the feeling of not wanting to be left behind, I chased after Satoru's back. Because even if this wasn't reality, the only one I could rely on now was Satoru. Satoru was, to me, an inseparable existence, unable to part from one another like twins in one body, sharing the same fate. That's why I absolutely won't miss my chance. I won't let him go. I'll follow him. I'll chase him. In order to find my other half, I'll keep chasing after him no matter where he is. That's right. Surpassing light and exceeding infinity. Ho ho! Oh boy. Sorry, I'm speechless right now. Oh my god. Now, obviously, that's not the end. We still have Cocoro, and we still have Satoru's side to go, and then probably the ending, the proper ending. Holy crap! So you see, you can't really skip this. So I'm probably gonna make this make the sound of the credits lower in my editing, just so you can hear me, but I don't really understand what's going on. And I think that's meant to be the point. It's meant to be, holy crap, we're on a mountain, now we're near a shoreline, and Satoru's here when he's meant to be, no, well, I mean, I guess it's not impossible for Satoru to be here, but because obviously this could be the past Satoru, but the impossible bit is, he knows who we are. But that would make no sense, because Satoru in the future is the one that's been having the personality exchanges. Now, obviously, it could mean that, oh, he knows about us, but he doesn't know about us because of what's been going on. He knows about us for a different reason. But basically, I don't understand what's going on. And I'm really happy for that, because I really want to be mind-fucked when it happens. But I do have a little theory. So basically, I think the plane crash, Uni or whoever is trying to save them, and what they've done is they've basically put them in a loop between the years 2011 and 2012. And so for most of the time, they're in the cabin in 2011, and that point, they were probably pushed to 2012. Now, whether they were moved through time and space, or just time, I do not know. But I do think that ended, they will push to 2012 somehow. And that Yugami is probably still stuck in 2011, I don't know. I just don't understand how they could have done that. I don't understand how the cabin is still there. I don't understand that much. Like, maybe the cabin is, TARDIS. I don't know. But honestly, that's the best theory I've got. I think they were somehow moved through space and time. But otherwise, I don't really understand it all. So, I'm really hoping to figure this out myself. Oh, by the way, two things. One, I think Satoru's episodes are gonna be a lot more explaining, because he seems to know a lot more about what's going on. He seems to be like a detective kind of person. He knows how to figure things out better. But before we do Satoru's route, I am gonna go through all of Cocoro and do every single choice, just so I can get the extra percents, and also to see if there's any extra dialogue and things I've heard to see. But otherwise, I actually don't understand what's going on, so I can't come up with a proper solid theory. Oh boy. And that's just because there could be so much stuff that's going on that it's very hard to figure out. Like, for example, most of the time I can come up with theories, but that's because games usually follow a logical pattern. But when games like this don't follow a logical pattern, there could be so much stuff going on that you just can't figure it out. And that's the state of mind I'm in right now. I just don't understand what could be happening, because so much could be happening. Anyway, there's the credits done. SDR. Oh, damn it, I knew this was Danganronpa. Anyway, that's not the end of the series, don't worry. Within the Cage. July 20th, weather sunny. The dazzling sunlight, the sound of wind chimes. Hirka chapter within the cage. So within the cage was the name of the thingamajiggy. Okay. Noises of children playing, they all help to brighten up the summer. With all this around me, it feels like I'm being trapped in the snow-covered mountains. Was just a nightmare. A painfully cruel nightmare the one has on a night in the dead winter. But I really was involved in a plane crash, and stranded for a week inside the shelter cabin. The small wound from the frostbite which still remained told the truth loud and clear. And then I had also experienced personality exchanges. As a result, I was also in Sphere at the same time. I can clearly say now those weren't just illusions, nor was I daydreaming. A nightmarish week. I was in that cabin, and I was also in Sphere. Just like Uni, Yamogi-san, and Mayuma-san. Just like Itsumi-san and Hattori-san, too. Just like Satoru. We were all really there. I have a newspaper article with me here. It's the same as the one in the cabin. I'll read it one more time. The Aomori Prefectural Police announced the recent discovery of the remains of 3 men and women on Aomori's Mount Akikuro, believed to be the victims of the crash of Flight HAL 18, which claimed 27 lives this January. As they had undergone extensive decomposition over a period of 6 months, the identities of the bodies are unclear, but they are assumed to be the last 3 discovered among the missing passengers and crew members in HAL 18. The bodies were discovered 1 kilometer east of the Mount Akikuro shelter cabin. It had been confirmed that the 3 bodies which sustained a larger number of lacerations in an avalanche days after the crash are those of the survivors. However, due to the bodies of the victims being discovered far down the mountain, the Aomori Prefectural Police investigation into the day of the death will continue. According to the Aomori Meteorological Station, an avalanche affecting Mount Akikuro and its surroundings area occurred on January 7th, 2011 at around 6:53. After analyzing the traces left in the Mount Akikuro shelter cabin, it was concluded that the people survived for 7 days after the crash. The only survivor, Kasuda Uni-kun, 11, was miraculously rescued. Uni-kun's mental state has not yet been stabilized. Even after half a year, he has yet to speak a single word since. The Aomori Prefectural Police is still waiting for Uni-kun's recovery to inquire about the details surrounding the incident. The horrific crash of Flight 18, with the discovery of the 3 bodies claiming 30 lives out of the 31 crew members and passengers aboard. The identities of the newly discovered bodies are listed below. Yamogi Seiji-san, Mayuzumi Lin-san, Fuyukawa Cocoro-san. It should be mentioned... What? It should be mentioned that ironically the rescue team just arrived 7 hours after the avalanche. Something. I'm a seagull. Using Tereshiko's own words, that was how I described myself. And I'm a girl trapped in a cage. That's right. I was indeed a girl trapped in a cage. Who's that behind you? The story is not yet finished. Truth is not revealed. It circulates through an incident. It is an infinity loop. Indeed. Unlocked Chapter 2, Satori Chapter, now starting. Alright then. Will it start automatically, or can I go to the main menu first? I wonder. It's not letting me press anything. Oh, there it is. I had to press enter. Unlocked album, promotional flyers, magazine front covers. Save data? Yes. Ooh, it changed to Satoru's area. Sphere! Ooh. Wait a minute. Oh, I get it. The clock tower. I can only just see it, but if you look at the far back of the building, it's on the top of it. That's where the clock tower is. Okay. I thought... Yeah. Stop it. Go away. Okay, so what I want to do first is I do want to go back to the start of the game. Day 1 beginning. This doesn't seem like it's the start of the plane thing, though. Is it? No, it isn't. What? In the bosom of motherhood. That's weird. That's very weird. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Well, I think pressing new game doesn't, like, mess with the save or anything. I think it's literally, oh, you want to start at the start of the game? Cool. And I'm going to choose the options that are at the start of the game. And then once we reach the In the Bosom of Motherhood one, I will start going through the shortcuts. So, otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will be right back.